Well, here we are for round 2 of the SPRAB meeting. Hopefully we're looking for a better result than we had on our last time out here. This meeting should have been on September the 28th, but because of the Hurricane Ian, it got postponed to today, October the 12th. So we are praying that we get a positive result here so we can move on. There's been a few more calls thrown at us by the Planning and Zoning Committee, but we are going to have to deal with them after this event has taken place, hopefully positively in our favour. So let's see what happens and I'll show you afterwards. And so we all sat down, hopeful we were in for a relatively straightforward SPRAB meeting. Boy, were we wrong. There were 4 new board members from last month's SPRAB meeting and 1 male board member, who I will choose not to name, but decided he did not like the project. It was a big mass and too bulky, according to him. Anyway, I would like to have shown you a complete video of this meeting, but the person videoing for the city took a tea break and did not come back, or so it seemed. So most of the meeting has the presentation on their screen, or has the presentation on the screen, but not the board in action. So we have tried to make it easier on the eye where possible with some nifty editing. But before we move on, can I please remind you to hit the subscription button and the notification bell below so that when we post an update, you'll be notified immediately. It's the best way of you keeping informed on all our projects here at Centennial Investments. So, Shane Ames, Principal of Centennial Investments Architects, Ames International, got up and introduced the project once again to the SPRAB committee, basically the 4 new members.
Shane Ames, architect. Some of y'all, I'm sure, have seen the presentation from a month and a half ago when we were here. All the items that the city had brought up at the time, we have resolved through the city, and the city reorganized how their setbacks are so that they met actually what we were told originally on the building.
Amy Alvarez for the city got up to clarify the colour scheme.
Actually, I do just want to make sure that we're all clear on the color scheme. That's also that when we do presumably come to an approval at the end, we know what colors are included.
Presumably get approved? Wow, there should be no presumable about it. Now, no more like. Then the hater questioned the height of the roof.
In terms of this is a 3-story building, but it's functionally it's a 4-story building.
Shane explained.
The rooftop on top of the entire building is not used. It's there's mechanical units up there. The rooftop I was discussing is on the 3rd floor in the back of the house.
Just to make sure.
At the 3rd floor level, not above the 3rd floor level.
Correct.
Okay, so I was thinking you were above.
No, that'd be nice, but no.
That's why I was asking it.
Everyone all had a good laugh, except the hater. But he wasn't finished yet.
In my opinion, I just feel like this particular mass, I mean, it seems this particular design is too big and too bulky and too square to be in the Osceola Park neighborhood. This is my opinion. I feel like it doesn't fit at all.
Although one other board member was not too keen on the style, she explained that personal opinions are not valid as long as a building was in compliance with city code. Yay.
I had similar concerns about the scale and the style, but as it says, as our guidelines say, our opinion is worth a whole lot. And it is in compliance.
She went on to say,
but I thank you. The last meeting I was frustrating for you. I recognize that. And I'm glad we're here today. Thank you for your patience.
And then the proverbial kick in the nuts from another new board member regarding that old chestnut, landscaping.
This approval's for a landscape plan, and I did not find one in the package. I found an arborist report, But I do not find any landscape plan. I wasn't able to review it.
Shane explained there was a landscape plan in the package.
Oh, the city does have a complete landscape plan, and we've gone through it many times in their package.
And then told them,
Everything, all the technical items were completely approved.
but Newbie wanted something to look at.
We
tree
need
locations.
something to look at.
Then the city attorney stepped in.
To be clear, it's the applicant's burden to establish that the project meets all the land development regulations. So while staff attempts to provide every piece of evidence that may be relevant for the board, I mean, the applicant still has the duty to establish their project and show that it's compliant.
Mate, it was in the package that got sent over. In the meantime, while everyone was playing with our future, one of the new board members stepped in.
I was actually in the audience last meeting, so I saw everything, and thank you for finishing everything that the board had asked you to do.
That was nice of her to say, and it broke up the ridiculousness of this meeting. Then the chairperson chimed in.
I think the project is terrific. I feel like it fits in with the neighborhood. The more I'm looking at it, the more I think it's definitely a special building, and I love the way it kind of moves from the city to individual residential.
I wanted to kiss her, but I'm sure that is not allowed. Meanwhile, the city attorney is scrambling to find a solution to this mess, as it looked like, because the landscape plans were not in a package that the SPRAB committee received, and the fact that Newbie wanted to see them, a postponement was in the offing, which would have been a complete disaster, to be honest with you.
In a normal situation, if the applicant has failed to present the evidence that's sufficient for you to vote, I would recommend that it be postponed.
After consulting the rule book, we were put back to the last agenda item, which turned out to be around 8 p.m. Remember, we'd been sitting in city chambers since 5 p.m. And so all of us, like bruised and bloodied boxers getting off the canvas after being knocked down for the second time, went again. The city attorney set the scene for the SPRAB committee.
I know this situation's a little different because the applicant was here and there was a disagreement over setbacks and whether there was a previous agreement. And then, of course, we were postponed 2 more weeks because of Ian. So I do want to thank staff. I think they've gone above and beyond to present as much of evidence as they can to help the applicant get through this evening.
Everybody reviewed the landscape plans that Amy Alvarez, irrespective of blame, had cobbled together on paper and electronically, so Newbie could cast her non-expert eyes over it.
Thank you. I'm good.
Hallelujah!
So, is there anyone from the public who wishes to speak on this new evidence before us?
We all held our breath.
Seeing and hearing none, is there any rebuttal? Okay.
And then the vote.
Cone is absent. Allison Thomas,
Yes.
Benjamin Baffer,
No?
Annette Gray,
Yes.
Carl Perez,
Yes.
Linda Trudeau,
Yes.
Dana Adler,
Yes.
Now, if you listen closely, you will hear me shout 1 year in recognition of the year it's taken us to get this far.
Great. Mr. Ames, congratulations. You've been approved.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The hater predictably voted no for no good reason other than his own opinion. He scowled at me. He should be removed from the SPRAB board as he clearly does not understand the rules or concept of the committee that he sits on. Okay, so we got our approval, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. They put us through the ringer, as you're going to see on the video from the chamber that I'm going to show you in a second. I don't really feel that I can celebrate or do a big whoopee. All of you that's been following this for the past year know that this has been a long, arduous process that should really have been satisfied nearly 4 months ago. So, following this, tomorrow we start work and hopefully we can make some big progress over the next few months. There's some other things that we've got to take care of. There's a platting issue that we've got to look at, but I'll explain to you that in a second. So before I get started talking to you about replatting, let me explain to you what that is. When we first bought the land in Delray Beach, although it looked like one piece of land with the house on it, it was in fact two parcels of land with a house on one parcel with the other parcel vacant, as shown here. As soon as the land was purchased and we had worked out what we wanted to build on it, we applied to Delray Beach Planning and Zoning Department to turn the land into 3 parcels from 2. This is called replatting. Obviously, building 3 townhomes on the land, each with a separate address, therefore needs its own parcel number. This is how the latest survey shows the 3 townhomes, each on its own parcel. So we could not move ahead to get the replatting approved before we got the site approval from the SPRAB committee, which took place, as you know, a few days ago. So here is the minor issue centered around timing. Before we can get approved on replatting, or what is technically called minor platting, the city wants a right-of-way dedication for access to certain utilities that sit on the northwest side of our land. To explain simply, the city wants to access our land on occasion to service, maintain or install certain utility functions, so we have to give up ownership of a 25-foot radius of our land. Sounds simple, but not really. Our attorney, in tandem with our surveyor, has to prepare certain documentation, present it to the city's attorneys to approve and then sign off. This needs to be done before the next city commissioners meeting, who approve the replatting process, which is more of an administration procedure than an adjudication process. The trouble is, the commission next sits on November 1st. So you see, the race is on. However, in actuality, there is no time lost here, even if we miss the time slot this month. This will not stop us preparing build-ready plans to submit to the trade for quotes and then permit applications. We can also continue the removal of the non-essential plants and prepare the groundwork for deploying utility infrastructure prior to building the shell scheme. So, plenty of work to carry on with in the meantime. There is a minor issue before we can get our full building permit, however, which is putting in place a landscape maintenance agreement. This has already been done and submitted to planning and zoning, but like everything that the city does, it can't find our submittal, or who knows, they may want to try or send us something different this time. Anyway, considering everything that's gone before, I'm not really worried about it. And finally, just for laughs and giggles, for those that have followed this project from the very beginning, the city's senior landscape planner, Jae Yun Kim, who gave us such a runaround, has now left the city, with as yet no one to replace her. So some poor developer is going to hit the same wall that we did, albeit with a newbie planner. Good luck. One final time, please remember to keep informed. And the way you do that is by taking out the bell below and the subscribe button, clicking both of them, and so that every time we update, you immediately get informed. See you all at the next update.